Dear learners, welcome back again in our today's session. As you can see that our today's topic is evolution of the philosophy of inclusive education, spatial, integrated and inclusive education. So let's understand the evaluation of philosophy of inclusive education. Spatial, integrated and inclusive education. If we talk about the philosophy of inclusive education has evolved significantly over the decades, moving from exclusion to inclusive through the various stages. This evolution can be broadly categorized into three phases. The first one is spatial education, second one is integrated education, the third one is inclusive education. Let's understand one by one. So first we will discuss about the spatial education. If we talk about the historical background of spatial education, so our spatial education emerged in the early 20th century as a response to the needs of children with disabilities because they are the important, significant for the bright future of the society. This period was characterized by the segregation of these children into the special schools or classes. If we talk about the characteristics, so the first one is segregation. Segregation, that means students with disabilities were educated separately from their peers. This segregation was based on the beliefs that they need special attention, that they need a specialized instruction that could not be provided in a regular classroom settings. The second one is specialized programs. These programs focus on remediation and therapy, often delivered in an isolated setting by specialized educators. Now next we are going to discuss about integrated education. So first we will discuss about the historical background of integrated education. So basically we talk about the integrated education, that the civil rights movements and the push for equality and human rights in the 1960s and 1970s led to shift towards integrating students with disabilities into a general education setting. This period saw the introduction of laws and policies promoting the integration of students with disabilities into the mainstream schools. So now we are going to discuss about the characteristics of integrated education. So the first one is mainstreaming. Mainstreaming, that means the children, the students with disabilities started to be placed in a general education classroom for at least part of the day. This practice known as mainstreaming. The second one is partial integration. Partial integration, that means while students with disabilities attended a regular classes, regular schools, they often spent a significant amount of time in a separate resources, rooms or special classes. The third one is support services. Support services, that means the integrated classroom education included the support service such as a special education, teachers and aides who work alongside general education teachers. The next one is individualized education plans. The development of individualized education programs become a standard practice, ensuring that students and learners with disabilities receive the personalized instructions and support. Now next, the last one is we are going to discuss about inclusive education. If we talk about the historical background of inclusive education, it starts from late 20th century till present. Inclusive education gained the prominence from the 1990s onwards, influenced by international movements advocating for the rights of all the individuals to be educated together regardless their abilities and disabilities. Now we are going to discuss about here characteristics. So the first one is full inclusion. Full inclusion, that means inclusive education aimed for the full inclusion of all the students, including those with disabilities in general education classrooms. The goal is to provide the supportive environment and where all the students welcomed and valued and respected. The next one is universal design for learning. Universal Design for Learning is also known as UDL. UDL emphasizes on UDL principles which advocate for designing the educational experiences that accommodate the diverse needs of all the learners from the outset. The next one is collaborative teaching. Regular and special education teachers work collaboratively using the co-teachers models and shared the responsibility to support all these students. Now next one is whole school approach. The whole school approach, basically inclusive, is seen as a whole school responsibility involving changing in school culture, policies, practices to create an inclusive environment, community and parental involvement, active engagement of families and communities in educational process, recognizing their crucial role in a supportive and inclusive practices. The last one is focus on equity and social justice. Inclusive education is rooted in the principles of equity and social justice, aiming to eliminate barriers to learning and participation for all the students. So overall, the evaluation from special education to inclusive education reflects a broader societal shift towards the recognizing and valuing diversity. Now we are going to discuss about the difference between among the inclusive, integrated and special education. So first, we will talk about the inclusive education. In inclusive education, all the students welcomed by the neighborhood school. And on the other hand, if we talk about the integrated education, disabled children on learning difficulties children accepted in the ordinary school. And on the other hand, if we talk about the special education, in special education, children with special need accepted only in special schools. Now next one is, again if we talk about the inclusive education, equal opportunity for all the participation. If we talk about the integrated education, partial opportunity for participation. And if we talk about the special education, limited opportunities for participation. Again, if we talk about the inclusive education, subject-centered curriculum and methodology will be adopted in inclusive education. And if we talk about the integrated education, subject-centered constructivist curriculum and methodology will be used in integrated education. And if we talk about the special education, so special curriculum and methodology. Next, if we talk about the again inclusive education, most cost effective. And integrated education is a cost not so high. And if we talk about the special education, cost will be so high. And if we talk about the inclusive education, teachers' effectiveness in including all the learning process. And in integrated education, teachers' effectiveness unchanged, limited to other children. And in special education, teachers' effectiveness limited to the group. If we talk about again about the inclusive education, formal planning is required in inclusive education. Integrated education, no formal planning is required. In special education, plan according to the student's ability. The next, about the inclusive education, all the students away from the education are included in mainstream schools. If we talk about the integrated education, all the students away from education are not necessarily included in mainstream schools. In special education, it can be included in mainstream education with some special facilities. Last, if we talk about the inclusive education, special infrastructure, trained staff, and special curriculum is designed for them. Integrated education, no special infrastructure, trained staff, and special curriculum is required. And if we talk about the special education, trained and professionals, infrastructure, facilities, and special curriculum is required. Thank you.